Welcome to StopFake, the place where we debunk disinformation about Ukraine and set the record straight. I'm Romeo Kokriatsky with this week's edition of Russian Disinformation Dissected. Among the stories we examine this week, Russian media claims to have found evidence of Ukrainian ISIS militants fighting in Syria. Ukraine has banned all minority language instructions in schools due to a new reform bill. And Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko's Roshen confectionery company is expanding operations in Russia. Russian media is busy disseminating unconfirmed reports that Syria's military stormed a camp belonging to Ukrainian militants of the Islamic State, or ISIS. Russia's Defense Ministry television channel Zvezda's website, Lenta.ru, Vesti, and other Russian sites disseminated this fake story. The source for these claims is a 2-minute video that is being actively reposted in the Russian blogosphere. In the video, several men wearing camouflage outfits and carrying rifles run from room to room in what appears to be a spacious mansion where they find Parliament cigarettes with the warning "Smoking kills" in Russian, a Russian puzzle book, and a smartphone they cannot unlock. A Ukrainian flag is pinned to a wall. The soldiers speculate that the flag is Uzbeki. The video ends with what appears to be a gunfight, with several men taking positions at a window and shooting. Russian media is identifying the men in camouflage as Syrian military and the building they are running through as a camp for Ukrainian ISIS militants. As proof that the militants must have been Ukrainian, Russian media points to the Ukrainian flag on the wall. The video in question first appeared on the Syria Today Twitter feed on September 27th with the text "SAA securing buildings on the eastern bank of the Euphrates. Traces of Russian/Ukrainian ISIS members found." The original video is available on YouTube. According to a Middle Eastern specialist that StopFake consulted, the 5 soldiers in the video are speaking with a Syrian accent. The room is very sparse outside of a large and rather luxurious bed. When the shooting begins at the end of the video, there appear to be no bullets actually flying into the room where the soldiers are. We hear the sounds of the soldiers' rifles, but we do not hear gunfire from the outside. A forensic analysis of the video suggests that it was staged. Russian involvement in the Syrian war is widely used for internal Russian propaganda purposes. In Syria, Russia is engaging in a very active pro-Kremlin campaign with the intention of solidifying Russia's position in Syria. Russian propaganda has been actively peddling fakes, claiming that Ukraine is involved with ISIS, that Ukraine is a center for ISIS militants, and that southern Ukraine is used as an ISIS training base. Another fake this week. Russian media are busy criticizing Ukraine's newly enacted education law, claiming it contradicts Ukraine's constitution, limits minority rights, and bans the Russian language in schools. This hullabaloo completely ignores the reforms the new law establishes, as well as the many official statements from Ukraine's education ministry setting the record straight. Education Minister Lilia Krinevich has repeatedly explained that the language law is completely in line with Ukraine's constitution and does not prohibit the study of minority languages. The Russian language ban, Ukrainization of education, and the law against education in Russian. These are but some of the many fake claims about which Russian media is whipping up hysteria in its reports regarding the education reform law. When the law comes into effect, national minorities will be deprived of the opportunity to obtain education in their native language, TASS declares. Moskovsky Komsomolets, meanwhile, announces that the only place in Ukraine where you can be schooled in Russian are the self-proclaimed Luhansk and Donetsk People's Republics. Many of these stories claim the new law contradicts articles in Ukraine's constitution, which guarantee the use and protection of Russian and other minority languages and discriminates against minority languages. According to Krinevich, Ukrainian as a subject is allotted only 2 hours a week in national minority schools. As a result, minority children do not learn Ukrainian, and their educational and employment choices become limited. This leads to their ghettoization within their language community. The law itself does not prohibit instruction in the native language, but along with it obliges all students to learn the state language, Ukrainian. According to the Ministry of Education, there are 735 special language schools for some 400,000 minority children, where only 2 hours per week are devoted to learning Ukrainian. In the majority of these schools, the language of instruction is Russian. Approximately 356,000 pupils study in Russian language schools. 16,000 pupils study Romanian, another 16,000 Hungarian, and approximately 2,000 Polish. Russian websites, both reputable and marginal, regularly publish fake stories claiming that Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko's confectionery company Roshen is expanding its operations in the Russian Federation. All these stories are fake. Roshen has only one factory in Russia, which opened in 2001 in Lipetsk, 438 kilometers or 272 miles southeast of Moscow, and even that is now closing. The latest fakes claim that new Roshen factories are opening in Kaluga, 150 kilometers southwest of Moscow, and Chelyabinsk, a city east of the Ural Mountains, which was close to foreigners in the Soviet Union because it was a top-secret nuclear weapons research facility. Cited sources for these claims are quite diverse: Ukrainian media, Russian journalist Alexander Prokhanov, and former Ukrainian Prime Minister Mykola Azarov, who fled to Russia along with former President Viktor Yanukovych in 2014. Roshen's public relations representatives told StopFake that this is not the first time they've encountered fake claims about alleged Roshen expansion in Russia. The Russian newspaper Argumenty i Fakti, meanwhile, ran a story at the beginning of September citing the agricultural minister for Chelyabinsk province, who said that Roshen had not made any announcements about building a factory in the area and no plots or permits for construction had been issued. In March 2017, Ukrainian business newspaper Liga featured an interview with the director of the Lipetsk Roshen factory, Oleg Kozakov. In that interview, Kozakov said Roshen was not building any new factories in Russia. StopFake took a look at some of Russia's biggest job search sites to see if Roshen was advertising new positions. Prominent site Robotis advertises 2 Roshen positions, that of sales representative and regional supervisor. Both positions were posted at the beginning of 2015. In June 2017, Roshen announced that its plant in the Russian city of Lipetsk was closing down completely. That's it for this week. You can find more dissected disinformation as well as useful tools for spotting fakes on the StopFake website. Be vigilant, look out for disinformation, and if you spot any fakes about Ukraine, send them to us for truth autopsy. I'm Romeo Kokriatsky, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.